terms of concerns going into this, the teams that I lead work in the fields of family violence, with refugee and migrants, and with young people who are at risk of disengaging from the education system. So groups that are very hard to reach or find us very hard to reach. And I knew that was having, that required a lot of pivoting in the way that we deliver our services, and that was something that was impacting my team. In terms of MosaicLab being able to respond to that, because the workshop was so participatory, and each of the members of the teams could provide their own input, their own insight, and the use of technologies and the ways that we were put into different rooms to have different conversations, and the way that was structured was really helpful in drawing out different people's experience and helping us to understand where people were really celebrating successes and where there were things that we still needed to enhance. The technology in the workshop was really good for us because we didn't use Zoom much before we started working remotely. And it's been a really steep learning curve for a lot of us about the ways that you can use Zoom. There's all sorts of ways that you can use it that we don't normally. And so it was really good for us all to be able to experience that. The best part of the experience was really listening to the reflections of the team. We've been in lockdown for almost 2 months now, and it was wonderful to hear what everyone's experience of that has been like, the real positives, some of the real challenges, and some of the things that people have already put in place to support themselves and their clients during this time, but also to really be able to just share in that experience, because we're all experiencing this in different ways, but it's the same storm. I think the surprise for me was how much everyone embraced it. Even at the start of the workshop, some people were a little bit hesitant about their participation or what they thought they might get out of it. But by the end of the workshop, people were really very engaged, and the feedback at the end was also very positive about how meaningful it was for them to connect. One of the outcomes that was achieved from the online session was that we started our action planning. So we were divided into small groups, and each of the groups came up with tangible actions that we can move forward with. And those include things like having a buddy system, and some of those really practical ways that we can support each other through these coming weeks and months until we return to some form of normal. The only improvement that I can recommend, and this was also feedback from the team, is that they'd like to have a longer session or another session to really extend it towards the provision of services for the communities that we serve. Because it was a 2-hour session, which sounds long but went so quickly, we really focused on our own practice as a team, which was the primary focus, and it would be wonderful to be able to extend that further.